What if the real enemy isn't out there but within you? What if every time you give in to lust, you're trading your power for emptiness? Why does your will crumble the moment a screen glows, a scroll begins, a fantasy appears? Have you ever asked yourself what you're really searching for? Beyond the momentary high? In this video, you will learn how to break the cycle, master your desire, and turn your struggle into unstoppable strength. He who conquers himself is the mightiest warrior, Confucius. In a world that is louder than ever, where images flash, temptations click, and gratification is sold on every screen, the battle young men face today is not fought with swords. It is fought within. Lust, dressed in convenience and cloaked in desire, has become the subtle enemy that steals time, purpose, and fire from the hearts of millions. But to conquer lust, one must understand it, not merely as a desire, but as a distortion of energy meant for greatness. Friedrich Nietzsche once said, "The higher we soar, the smaller we appear to those who cannot fly." Lust lowers the gaze, narrows the vision, and anchors the soul to passing pleasures. But focus, true focus, is the act of soaring. And to soar, you must be willing to let go of everything that weighs down your spirit. Let us speak clearly now, not in riddles, but in truths. Imagine a young man waking up. The first thing he sees is a glow from his phone. A notification, a scroll, a habit. And in seconds, his mind is no longer his own. His energy is scattered. The fire he woke up with is now ash. This is not coincidence, it is design. Modern distraction is engineered. The great postmodernist Michel Foucault observed, "Where there is power, there is resistance." But what if the resistance must be internal? What if the power is in saying no? To kill lust, we do not suppress it as a monster, for suppression breeds obsession. Rather, we transmute it, as Carl Jung suggested in his idea of the shadow. Jung believed that the shadow, the unconscious part of ourselves we hide, must not be ignored but integrated. Until you make the unconscious conscious, it will direct your life and you will call it fate. Lust is not merely sexual desire. It is the symptom of a deeper lack, a longing for meaning, depth, connection. And when young men mistake this longing for something physical, they settle for illusions instead of purpose. You must pause here and ask yourself, what do I truly want? What is it that burns inside me when I am alone, undistracted, untouched by indulgence? Jean-Paul Sartre argued, man is nothing else but what he makes of himself. If you choose to be a man of focus, you must build a life where that focus is sacred. Begin your day with intention, not reaction. Rise before the world begins to pull at you. Use the silence. Let your body be moved by discipline, your mind by clarity, your heart by vision. Every time you defeat the pull of lust, you are training the will. And the will, as Schopenhauer taught, is the essence of human existence. A man can do what he wants, but not want what he wants. This means that to change what you want, you must change what you feed. Feed your mind with philosophy, your body with movement, and your soul with challenge. Walk into the gym when your body tells you to rest. Open the book when your mind craves escape. Speak to real women with respect when the screen offers fantasy. In these small acts, you are sculpting your character. In the words of Marcus Aurelius, when you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. Lust is not just killed by abstinence, it is conquered by the overflow of meaning. Fill your life so full with purpose that lust cannot find a place to settle. There is mystery in this world, yes, but there is also clarity for those who seek it. You were not born to be enslaved to your urges. You were born to build, to lead, to endure. The philosopher Kierkegaard said, "Purity of heart is to will one thing. Find that one thing, and will it with everything you are. The first and best victory is to conquer self." Plato. Lust is not evil in itself. It is a raw, natural force, a fire that, if left untamed, will burn everything in its path. But if directed, it can become the very forge in which greatness is tempered. Plato spoke of the tripartite soul, the rational, the spirited, and the appetitive. The rational must lead, the spirited must support, the appetitive, our base desires, must obey. In the modern world, this balance is reversed. Desire sits on the throne, rationality serves in silence, and spirit is made to bow. But you, young man, are not like the world. You are a seeker. You want more. Not more pleasure, but more power. Not the kind of power that dominates others, but the kind that conquers chaos within. Listen. When you wake up and your mind reaches for pleasure, pause. Instead, reach for purpose. Even something simple, making your bed, stepping into the cold shower, journaling your thoughts. These are sacred acts. They are rituals of resistance. They tell your brain, "I am not here to be ruled." Albert Camus wrote, "In the depth of winter, I finally learned that within me there lay an invincible summer. Lust will come as winter, cold, sudden, and strong. But you must be the summer that outlasts it. Let's be practical now. You're walking down the street and someone passes by who catches your eye. The mind begins its spiral. You can feel it, an itch, an urge, a story being written without your permission. At this moment, you must choose, not to suppress the feeling, but to redirect it. Say to yourself, this energy, I keep it. Let it fuel your next step, your next rep, your next word spoken with clarity. Your attraction is not a weakness. It is a signal of vitality. But when you hand it away too easily to screens, to scrolling, to fantasies, you become weaker. Reclaim that energy. Let it build your life, not bleed it. Nietzsche once said, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." Find your why. Is it to create something timeless? To protect someone you love? To be a warrior in a world that rewards weakness? Let that vision be more seductive than lust itself. You see, the real enemy is not lust. It is aimlessness. A man without a mission is the easiest prey for distraction. But a man with a mission? He becomes untouchable. Take time each day to cultivate silence. No music, no phone, just you and your thoughts. This is not punishment, it is power. In the silence, you'll hear the voice of your deeper self, the self that knows you were not made to chase shadows. Slavoj Žižek, a modern philosopher, once remarked, "The real tragedy of desire is not when it is not satisfied, but when it is." The endless pursuit of lust leads not to joy, but to emptiness, and this emptiness is disguised behind dopamine hits and endless novelty. You do not need more. What you need is deeper. Let's say it plainly. Pornography is a lie. It is not just immoral, it is anti-purpose. It rewards you for doing nothing. It robs you of the hunger that leads to creation. Every time you say no, every time you walk away, you are saying yes to something higher. You are saying yes to real strength, yes to real women, not fantasy, yes to focus, not fragmentation, yes to becoming what you were meant to be. It will not be easy. Greatness never is. But nothing will compare to the feeling of walking through fire and not being burned, of standing in a world drowning in temptation and saying, "Not me." Viktor Frankl, survivor of the Holocaust and author of Man's Search for Meaning, wrote, "When we are no longer able to change a situation, we are challenged to change ourselves. You cannot change the world's obsession with lust, but you can change your response. You can become the kind of man who others look to, not because you are perfect, but because you are principled. Each day, build the habit of mastery, not over others, but over yourself. Keep promises to yourself. Fast from comfort when you must. Set limits on your screen. Train your body until it listens. Read words that sharpen, create systems that protect your energy. This is how you kill lust, not by running, but by standing tall in its presence and saying, "I have something greater to live for." No man is free who is not master of himself. Epictetus. Freedom is not indulgence. It is not the ability to do whatever you want whenever you want. That is chaos, not liberty. True freedom is the strength to choose what is right, even when every cell in your body begs for the easy path. Epictetus, the Stoic, understood this well. He was born a slave, yet he spoke of freedom as something internal. He taught that while we cannot control what happens to us, we can control how we respond. And what greater test is there than lust? Lust disguises itself as a momentary craving, but it is a thief, stealing your focus, your drive, your edge. It is not content to visit. It wants to live in you, but it can only stay if you let it. The mind must be trained like a blade, daily, sharpened against the grindstone of resistance. Think of a samurai. He does not draw his sword for every shadow. He waits. He observes. He remains centered. You too must become like that warrior, alert, calm, deliberate. When lust appears, you do not react. You respond. With wisdom, with breath, with power. Martin Heidegger, in exploring the idea of being, spoke of authentic existence, a state where one lives with awareness of their mortality and purpose. Ask yourself, if today were your last, would you be proud of how you spent your strength? Would you be proud of the moments wasted on hollow pleasures? You were not born for such a life. Every time you choose focus over lust, you deepen your authenticity. You live in alignment with your highest self. Let's make this tangible now. You're sitting at your desk. You're trying to work, study, create, build. Then comes the whisper, the temptation, a video, a thought, a detour. Pause. Feel it. Don't run from it. Let it burn, but don't act. Breathe deeply and say internally, this feeling is a signal, not a command. Redirect, stand up, move, go for a walk, do 10 push-ups, pick up a book, change your environment, change your posture, change your energy. Over time, this becomes instinct. The craving arrives and your response is immediate, not submission but strength. This is how we rewire, not through guilt but through grace and discipline. Michel de Montaigne, the Renaissance thinker, once said, "A man who fears suffering is already suffering from what he fears." Don't fear lust. Face it, and in facing it, strip it of its illusion. It is not pleasure, it is poison that tastes sweet. See it for what it is. Then you can be free of it. You must understand, young man, you are not alone. This battle is ancient. Every generation of men has faced it, but few conquer it. Most remain trapped in cycles: desire, indulgence, regret. And those who break free are not superhuman. They are simply consistent. They fail, yes, but they return stronger. They lose ground, but they never abandon the war. Simone Weil, the mystic philosopher, wrote, "The destruction of the self is the condition for the liberation of the soul." What does she mean? That your old self, weak, distracted, addicted, must be let go. You must shed that skin even if it hurts to become something sharper, purer, fuller. This is not about being cold. This is about being alive, fully alive. Lust numbs, it disconnects, it shrinks your soul to a moment of escape. But you were meant to feel deeply, to love fiercely, to live a life of unshakable meaning. Don't trade that for 10 seconds of release. Instead, transmute your urges. As the ancient alchemists tried to turn lead into gold, you must turn temptation into transformation. Building, learn, train, connect, serve. These are the paths of the true masculine spirit. You want clarity, then earn it. Through sweat, through silence, through struggle. You want peace. Then fight for it. Daily. Grit your teeth if you must. But never surrender your future for a fleeting high. There is a greatness waiting for you, but it cannot be reached with one hand on your phone and the other on your purpose. You must choose right now, today, this hour. Choose to rise. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence, then, is not an act, but a habit. Aristotle. Excellence isn't built in moments of ease. It's carved out in the choices no one sees. When you close your browser instead of opening that tab. When you get up after failure and say, again. These are the small wars that forge the great men. The war against lust is a quiet one. No parades, no medals. But the victory, it echoes through every part of your life. Let's speak directly now, man to man. You know the feeling. You're alone. Maybe it's night. Maybe you're tired, overwhelmed. That familiar weight starts pulling at you. A thought, a memory, an image, it beckons. And you can feel the war beginning before a single click. This is the fork in the road. You're not weak for feeling it. But strength comes in what you do next. In that moment, you must become your own guardian. You must protect your energy like a warrior guards the gates of a sacred city. Your mind is your temple. What you allow in will either build you or break you. Arthur Schopenhauer wrote, "To overcome difficulties is to experience the full delight of existence." Understand this. Every moment you deny lust, you are not losing. You are winning. You are earning your discipline. You are feeding your will. You are proving that your future is more important than your impulse. And your future is worth protecting. You want to build something real? A business? A body? A bond? Then you cannot afford to leak your life force into fantasy. That energy is meant for creation, not consumption. Every great man in history knew this. Consciously or not, they transmuted the urge. They used it to write, to build, to speak, to fight. Look at Nikola Tesla. He remained celibate not out of repression but out of direction. His energy fueled his mind. His inventions were not accidents. They were the children of clarity. Now ask yourself, what could you create if your mind was clear? What could you become if you were fully in control? You say you want power, purpose, impact. But are your habits aligned with that vision? Or are you trading your destiny for pixels and guilt? There is a better way. Begin with structure, morning routines that anchor you, evening rituals that restore you. Set limits on screen time, on inputs, on noise. Don't just rely on motivation. It fades. Build systems. Remove temptations. Replace weak habits with strong ones. Keep your space clean. Keep your mind sharper than your desires. Practice cold exposure, fasting, discipline in small things. These aren't trends. They're tools. Weapons to fight back against the chaos. Søren Kierkegaard wrote, "Boredom is the root of all evil, the despairing refusal to be oneself." How many times have you turned to lust simply because you were bored? Because your soul was underfed, underchallenged? That's not a fault in you, it's a signal. Feed your spirit, feed it with difficulty. With goals so big they scare you, with friends who demand your greatness, with solitude that reveals your truth. That space is everything. When the urge rises, breathe, wait, step into that space, choose growth, choose freedom, choose your future. You must become who you are. Friedrich Nietzsche. To become who you are, you must first burn away who you are not. Lust builds a false self, a shadow version of you. A man of reaction, not intention. A man led by his hunger, not his vision. But you, young man, are not meant to be ruled by shadows. You are meant to wield your desire, not be enslaved by it. Nietzsche's words were not a gentle encouragement. They were a command to confront the abyss within you. He knew that the path to greatness requires a descent, a confrontation with the primal, the chaotic, the hungry parts of the soul. And he knew that only those who walk through fire willingly are reborn as something unbreakable. Let's walk through the fire together. When you are tempted, do not shame yourself. Do not say, "I am weak." Instead say, "This is the test." Just like steel is strengthened in flame, your mind is sharpened in struggle. Without the test, there is no transformation. Lust is a counterfeit. It offers you the image of connection without the substance, the illusion of power without the discipline it demands, the thrill of pleasure without the meaning it robs from you. Ask yourself this: when have you ever finished indulging and felt stronger? When have you felt clearer, more alive, more driven? Never. Because lust always leaves you less focused, less confident, less you. But when you resist, even once, you feel the echo of something ancient, something royal, something real. That feeling, that rush of self-control, of victory, is the soul remembering its throne. The path awaits you, that gateway towards productivity, growth, and brilliance is asking you to do something remarkable. It calls your name in royal protocols as you march towards a future that is bright and filled with real happiness and content. So, are you ready? Take control of your life and do not let temptation distort and disrupt your true self and a future that you have always dreamt of, and you will achieve what you have never even thought would come to reality.